For today's video, we're going to be doing a 1-year review update on the Casio G-Shock DW-5900. So let's get right into it. The 5900 goes for around $70 to $100 depending on where you shop, but realistically you can find it for about $75 to $80. Here's a quick 360 just so we know what we're working with. Here are the side buttons, and then the case back, nothing special here. And there we go. For dimensions, we are looking at, I want to say 46 and a half, about 46 and a half millimeters across the case. And for depth or case thickness, about 15 millimeters. For weight, we are sitting at 59 grams or 2 ounces. Excellent weight here. And here's just a quick size comparison sitting next to the B5000 or G-Shock Square. Going over some functions, starting off with the main display. At the top you've got 3 subdials. At 9 o'clock and 3 o'clock are going to be your 10-second animation. And then the center dial is your mode subdial, indicating which functions are on, like alarm, signal, daylight savings time, mute, or snooze. And then underneath that is your calendar data and main time. Now cycling through the different modes, you've got your world time, stopwatch, and the stopwatch here is pretty cool. You've got a 1/10 of a second animation right there, and it will stop on whichever 10th you fall on. So right there, it's the 9th section is blacked out, so indicating 4.9. And then here's the reset, timer, alarm, and back to main time. I almost forgot a wrist shot, so here it is for you. Continuing on with functions and features, it does come with a mineral crystal, which is a good thing. I think for this caliber of watch, that's fitting. And for water resistance, we're looking at 200 meters of water resistance. So it's going to have just as much reliability as any other G-Shock that you are used to. And backlight as well. Here's the light button, so we push that and you can see it. And on the screen, I think the backlight here is phenomenal. But my favorite thing about the backlight is that extremely retro 80s buzz that you hear when you turn it on. I don't know if the microphone is going to catch this, but listen to that. I don't know if you can hear that, but you're just going to have to take my word for it that when you turn on the backlight, you can hear it hum. And for those of you that maybe are too young, you won't understand, but back in the day, these old school watches, they made a buzz or a hum, and it was so cool whenever you turned on the backlight. You've got the resin case and then the resin band, and I think it's fine here. It is a classic style watch, so you're going to have a classic style band. I prefer the dual clasp that other modern G-Shocks have, but for the sake of style and design, I think this is fine. But I think the main winner here is the overall color scheme. I think nothing screams G-Shock more than the white text accompanied by this red text on the side. I think it's super cool. And then also you've got a little bit more of a dynamic color scheme here with almost like a light blue turquoise coloration on the subdials, and then almost like a burnt orange and that center subdial. And it really just comes together in a whole package of the 80s style that we all love and adore. Now, some of the biggest complaints that I've got about the 5900 was a lot of viewers felt like they wasted the space up here for these 3 subdials, and in turn you get a very small display here for time. And I completely understand where they're coming from. But sometimes you just got to accept the fact that you're not buying a watch for practical purposes, rather just because it's fun and it reminds you of a better, simpler time. I will tell you, you're not getting the 5900 because of its modern technology, because I'll tell you, it doesn't have any of that. Maybe they might have improved some things here and there, but the main spirit of the 5900 is to bring us back to a time when G-Shock was really in its prime and we were all filled with a sense of wonder about the future. And I completely understand if this isn't your cup of tea, if you would prefer a watch that is more practical. I totally get it, but I don't think this watch is for you then. This is really for people like me who were children of the 80s and the 90s, and we grew up with watches like this. And there's definitely plenty of other options out there in the market for you, but I think it's great that they come out with these periodically for people like me to enjoy. I will tell you that if you are willing to look past some of its flaws, like its lack of modern luxuries like a big open screen and maybe solar charging, I think that you will come to really appreciate this watch. I think it'll bring you back to a time when a sense of adventure was more important than the luxury of technology, or the amount of numbers you had in your notebook was more important than the size of the screen of your cell phone. And you know, I might be getting a little bit sentimental here, but you know, you gotta love watches like this that really bring us back to that time when life was just so fun. And just call me old-fashioned, but I really do like the way that it looks. Maybe I can get a close-up here, a shot of that dial or the watch face. You see that grid design, and I think it just looks really cool. You know, maybe a little bit tacky, but still cool nonetheless. So those are my thoughts and opinions of the 5900 after about a year of owning it. I definitely recommend it, especially if you are like me and you just like the way that it looks and you like the way that it reminds you of the past. If it's not for you, you know, go on and move to the next one. There's plenty of other options out there for you at a much better price. But definitely for the collector, I think this is a must-have, and for children of the 80s, this is also a must-have. I hope that you enjoyed this video. I hope that I can help you with your next watch purchase. Thank you for watching, and I'll catch you guys later. Bye.